And good evening, my lovely Lost Tales, and welcome back to the Blue Rose Respite for my soothing Sunday night stream. I hope you're all doing well tonight, as we will be continuing with some more Coffee Talk 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. And Scarlett, thank you so much for the 39-month resub. That is 3 full years now of being not only an incredible friend, but amazing moderator and supporter. Thank you so much, sweetie. I love you. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. I'm having an exceptionally good hair day today, so I'm pleased that I'm streaming tonight, to be perfectly honest. And time for a stretch check. Good. Alrighty, let us settle in for some more cool lo-fi vibes and shenanigans. Oh, thank you, Sam. I was actually very pleased with the picture that I posted on my socials for when I went live tonight. Just that little curl of hair, just falling perfectly in my face, just mwah, perfect. Alrighty, let's continue, shall we? First of all, I need to check my phone. Any new developments? Hey, Lucas dinner with my team. That's awesome. Gonna like that. The Celtic Gent! Hi Stephanie, it's me, Celtic Wolfblood, rebranded to Celtic Gent. I'd like to give you a big warm thank you for the content you have provided towards the community. You've been one of the best ASMR content creators on YouTube and fantastic Twitch streamer. I'm so thankful to be in your community. Much love towards both yourself and the community. Celtic Gent, thank you so much. That's so incredibly sweet of you to say. And thank you so much for being an amazing part of my community and for your resub. You're amazing. Thank you. Oh. Lucas, have you ever heard a story that wows you, so you try to go for your dreams because you're so inspired to do something or anything? Share your story. Like. Oh, Rachel looks so cute. I love her jacket. Taking an easy day because self-care is important. Don't forget to take a good rest once in a while too, everyone. Yeah, chat, you should take some time off for yourself every once in a while. Yeah. And everyone else is doing good. Let's see. Is the music too loud for people, or is it at a good volume? M. Darsic, thank you so much for the 20-month resub. 20 is more than 7. Shocking, I know. But thank you so much for dropping by, Mike, and thank you so much for the 20-month resub. You're an amazing friend, I miss you, and I love you. And guys, we already have a level 1 hype train going, so if you want to renew your subs, now's the perfect time to do so, or if you're in a generous mood, drop some bits my way. It's all good and much appreciated. All the ingredients are stocked up, and the weather's keeping quiet. Looks like a good night to listen to some stories. Hey! Hey. Is this a bad time? For sure on both accounts, and you're an amazing friend. No, you're an amazing friend, Mike. My boys. It's our boys. It's the boys. Good evening, Mr. Hyde, Mr. Gala. Nice to see you two. How did it go at the hospital today? Well, it was fine, except I was a little exhausted. Goodness, are you having issues with the children again? No, that's not it. It's just... Well, for starters, my Fury's giving me a hard time. Your Fury? Is it the full moon already? No, but I sometimes get pre-furry Fury symptoms. Not furry, Fury. He does get furry because he's a werewolf, like, you know what I meant. Fuck. Pre-Fury symptoms? Yeah, it's a common thing for werewolves. A few days before the full moon, our bodies start to prepare for fury. Fuck! I knew they would get clipped! God damn it! Hayden, thank you so much for the gifted cup to Alex. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hayden. And that changes the way they react to pretty much everything. Symptoms vary depending on who you ask, but it can affect our muscles, our appetite, our energy levels. It can give us headaches and a lot of other stuff. Small but annoying. That doesn't sound pleasant. No, to be honest, it's not great. For me, I've been feeling pretty sore and more tired than usual. And a bit crankier as well. Honestly, big mood. It's really hot in the UK at the moment, and our buildings are designed to let heat out, so my apartment has felt like an oven all day today, and I am so very tired, and it is very hot in here. So I'm actually going to turn my fan up just a little bit and angle that away from the mic. So would pre-fury symptoms be when someone buys their first pair of animal ears? I would say, like, if you go as like a kitty cat to show up a Christmas dinner wearing cat ears for Halloween or something, you go as like a kitty cat, but you put a little bit too much effort into like pulling your whole look together, and you're insistent on getting like a tail as well, and you know, you kind of think about maybe getting like the paw gloves as well, or the toe bean socks. That's when it's like the pre-fury symptoms are like, okay, this might be the start of a trail of breadcrumbs that lead to other interests. And a bit crankier as well. Is there a drink that could help you with that? I never found one, but if anyone can come up with it, it's you, Stephanie. Since a Galahad can soothe your fury, maybe it would work for pre-fury as well. Maybe, but I think it'd need to be more relaxing. Like a Galahad, but with no caffeine and maybe blue? Okay, so what's in a Galahad? Remind me. So it's coffee-based originally. Oh no, it was tea. Tea, milk, ginger. So what if it's butterfly tea and then milk and ginger? Do we already have that? Okay, let's give that a try. Oh, it's all good, Baron. It's all good. Sorry, it's so pretty. It's like a wolf, like, howling at the stars. That is just the prettiest drink I've ever seen. I want to try that. That looks so good. Here you go, Gala. You tell me how good it is. Here you go, Gala tea for you. Do you come up with these names on the spot, Stephanie? No, it takes a bit of soul searching. To tailor it to the situation and so on. That almost makes it sound like you know in advance what we're going to order. Call it a sixth sense. Right, let's see how your sixth sense tastes. Wow, this is excellent. Exactly what I needed. Very happy to hear that. Do you want something, Hyde? What's with the long looks, you two? Did something happen? Actually, Stephanie, guess I'll just come out with it. I need your help. My help? Come on, I wasn't that bad. No, I was so tired today I nearly fell asleep on the job. But more importantly, it's not good for you. Moping around, sulking, refusing to look at solutions. I've never seen you like this, and I'm getting worried. There's nothing to worry about. You say that, but then you spend entire nights looking miserable. No advice I come up with is good enough. And Hyde, I'm barely keeping it together as it is. You should know by now how I feel when Fury's about to hit. I take it you two ended up chatting yesterday after all? You bet we did. After I walked out of here, I headed home and found this one, lying on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. We completed that high train at level 2, which is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Looking so gloomy, it sucked the colour out of the room. And it's not the first time either. It's a constant these days. Please help me help him, Stephanie. I'm at my wit's end. Mr. Hyde. Can't avoid eye contact with me forever. Oh, fine. The truth is, I'm bored to death. Or I would be if it wasn't for the whole immortality thing. I'm nearing 40 years old. And I've never been this bored in my entire life. Interesting. You usually make it sound like you're much older. 40 years old in vampire years. I'm not saying how old that is in other species years. Eyes on the prize, Stephanie. Intervention first, gossip later. My apologies. Why are you so bored, Mr. Hyde? My job. What was that? My job. Hey, no need to shout. Oh, I'm also irritated about it, okay? I'm not exactly used to sitting around twiddling my thumbs. But modelling stopped being fun ages ago. You did mention something like that last time. You are trying to leave modelling behind, then? Yeah. Is there a specific reason for that? It's all just so brief. Back when I started modelling, people thought of fashion in a different way. They wanted to keep their outfits for a while. So they had to be elegant, well-made and versatile. Some campaigns that I featured in stayed on billboards for months. And I knew the clothes would last decades. In a way, it felt like I was building a bond with their wearers. I endorsed something that would feature in their cherished memories. And then social media came and it all became disposable. Okay, I'm curious about where this conversation is going because I have opinions about fast fashion. So I am understanding Hyde on a spiritual level. The clothes themselves, of course, but the models even more. I shoot a campaign, the brand posts it online, and it gets attention for what, 10 minutes? Then another campaign comes in and everything's forgotten. Blink and it's gone. There's no bond to be built there. Isn't that changing these days though? With slow fashion and the like? That's true, and people are getting into vintage clothes too. I salute that. The reality of my job remains the same. What about your fans? There are so many people following you. You mentioned that last night and my answer hasn't changed. They follow me because they think I'm pretty. Being admired is nice, but it doesn't constitute a bond. So you're saying that you would like to leave more of a mark? Maybe so. It would be nice if I did something that people remembered. That became a part of their lives in a real way. You do know you have people in your life in a real way, right? People who always remember you. That's not the same thing. Maybe you should study to become a doctor or something. That would make a real difference. No, thank you. The job still needs to be fun. Studying for 10 years just to exhaust myself in 14-hour shifts? Did you mistake me for a hard-working vampire? You know what, Sam? Mood. Hyde is very pretty, and he and I have a lot in common, so there's that. Do you see what I'm dealing with, Stephanie? It does seem to be a thorny issue. Perhaps you'd like to mull it over with a drink in hand, Mr. Hyde. Okay, did you legitimately want me to, like, put my 2 cents in about fast fashion? Because I won't go into, like, detail of it, but as I've been growing up and I've been much more aware of, like, the massive problems of fast fashion, so essentially fast fashion is brands that have a very, very quick turnaround. So they release, like, new lines of clothes on a bi-monthly or even, like, on a weekly basis. And so what happens to all of the old clothes that don't sell, they just go into landfill. They don't get donated or anything like that. They either just get cut up and, like, so that, you know, people can't dumpster dive for them, or they just get thrown into landfill. And so the reason that, you know, fast fashion is such a big problem on, like, Amazon and Shein and a ton of other sites and Zara as well is because they have such quick turnaround that it extorts, like, human labor with, like, factory workers and stuff, like, making these products in, like, terrible conditions, usually in, like, Taiwan and China and Indonesia and Thailand and Vietnam. And so people who, you know, buy, like, a $10 or even not $10, like a $7 t-shirt that they wear for a handful of times, but because it's made so quickly and so cheaply, the material isn't good, so it wears away and, like, gets torn easily, and so then, you know, you throw it out as soon as, like, you can't wear it anymore. But that it's not sustainable. And so that's why I'm trying to be much more conscious about the things that I buy. I very rarely buy a lot of clothes these days unless they're, like, staples for my wardrobe that I know I'm going to wear, like, a time again, or they're very special one-off pieces that I know I'm going to wear on special occasions, like a really nice dress, like, or a really nice pair of shoes or a handbag or something I know that I won't wear regularly, but they're still, like, long-term pieces that I can wear, like, for special events for the next few years. So there's a lot of, and also with, like, the rise of social media and, you know, trends passing super quickly, you'll have, like, in the high fashion world, like, seasons, like, you know, you might have heard, like, when it comes to high fashion, like, the summer collection of Chanel or something like that, and that's just for that particular season. But those garments are, one, like, 20 times more expensive, and two, usually they're made with, like, much more focus and care and a lot more expensive materials, so that's why they're more expensive. And I remember there was, like, I'm sorry to go off on, like, a little bit of a tangent, but I promise we'll get back to the game in a second. But it's also a difficulty when it comes to the mentality of the people who buy fast fashion. Like, a lot of younger people in their 20s and teenagers who can't afford, you know, to get a really, really nice pair of sustainable, like, leather shoes that are going to last them for 20 years. They still want to look nice, so they'll buy a pair of $10 shoes on Amazon, wear it to pieces, and then they'll have to keep buying those $10 pairs of boots. But they weren't able to initially afford, like, the $50 boots, but they'll buy, like, 7 pairs of $10 boots, and then it's like, I understand that you can't afford, like, the $50 boots at the moment, but if you just saved up a little bit more, or, like, you try to put a little bit of money away for it, then in time you can get what you're working towards, what you really, really want. And I understand that it's coming from a big place of privilege. I work very hard to be able to afford nice things for my wardrobe. So I understand if you're not able to afford it, then maybe at the same time, you're just not able to afford it right now. Like, there was a woman who made this beautiful, beautiful purse, and it was hand stitched. It was like, she spent hundreds of hours of work on it, individually, like, hand stitching this beautiful sequined face on it. And it was a one of a kind, beautiful purse. And I think she was selling it for, like, $900. But that is a hand stitched, beautifully put together, one of a kind purse, which is, like, up a designer level, like, handmade quality. And there was all these people, mostly teenagers and people in their 20s, who were so angry with her, saying, like, oh, why can't I afford it? You know, why can't, you know, you'd make it cheaper? Like, I'd be willing to spend, like, $20 or $30 on it. Why are you selling it for $900? And it's the disconnection of understanding, like, the human labor aspect of it. Like, the reason you're able to afford, like, a $7 t-shirt made in a factory is because they're made en masse, whereas that is, like, a one-of-a-kind, handmade, beautiful product, and is well deserving of the price tag that she gave it. So, Yes, it's a frustration on my part, and again, I very much understand that comes from a position of privilege where I am able to afford, like, if I need to get a new pair of, like, jeans because there's a hole torn in them or something, a lot of the time I'll try and stitch that up myself until they're literally wearing down to the point I can't repair them anymore. Like one of my favorite shrugs that I wear to work all the time, or when I go into the office, it has a massive hole along the elbow from where I've just like worn it down over time, but I just got needle and thread and I stitched that shit back up because I didn't want to have to buy a new one. And like, but then at the same time, when I went to the States for my birthday, I bought a very, very nice pair of leather cowboy boots, like, and they're beautiful. Beautiful boots. Very expensive though, but I know that I'll cherish those boots for a really, 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 really long time, probably until the day I die. So it's a complicated conversation, and there's a lot of other factors in mind when it comes to it, like how social media has, you know, warped our attention span, so it feels like we need to keep new stuff pumping out all the time in terms of like new products, new content, new opinions, and all that kind of stuff. We'll get back to the game in a second, I promise. But yeah, just with this topic of conversation coming up from Hyde, I was like, ooh, I have some thoughts on this. Honestly, quality is dipping massively. I bought a pair of 350 boots last year and have worn through the sole and the two in less than weekly wear. I'm very upset about it. Yes, and planned obsolescence is an entirely other topic of conversation that we can get into, where it's intentionally designed in products, whether it's cars, computers, fashion, that is by design supposed to wear down in a shorter amount of time, so then you have to buy a new one, and it's the worst. But that's an entirely different like topic, and I'm not going to get into a spat over that. But yes, I'm very, like, I would like to think that I dress fairly well when I go out and stuff, so I care quite strongly about where I buy from. That's why a lot of the time I will buy from independent designers, or if I'm going to like splurge on something really nice, I really try and support independent designers when I can. I try to avoid like getting anything fast fashion at like any time possible. Like occasionally I'll buy like little homewares or like things I need from Amazon, but I don't buy clothes there if I can avoid it. But yeah, it's the complications of being like loving fashion in like the modern era. So anyway, let us get back to the game. Let us continue. Perhaps you'd like to mull it over with a drink in hand, Mr. Hyde. Thank you so much, guys, for letting me go on that brief tangent. I usually don't, like, have, like, a period where I speak a couple of paragraphs on my own mind about various, like, topics of conversation that come up in games, but that was just something like, okay, Steph has an opinion. Yeah, that sounds good. Just make me something I like. Anything you've seen me enjoy, recently or when we first met. I can do that for you. I've got the perfect drink in mind. Gala, do you have... Yeah. Oh, he's such a good boy. And you, like, what was it? Was it the Zobo? I thought it was the Zobo. Because it was a red drink. Oh, it was the Tejahe Rosella, that's it. I might make that one actually, because he liked a little bit... Actually, I'll make the Zobo, just to be on the safe side. It's like something a little bit spicy. Oh, do I have anything to give anyone? Okay, no, I'm all good. Here you go, Mr. Hyde. You seem to like this well enough. Nice, Stephanie. And you lost your bet, Hyde. A bet?
When Hyde was wallowing in self-pity yesterday, I told him many people cared about him. And I bet you can remember what he liked, even if he gave you no instructions. And now I get to say that I was right. And Hyde gets to buy me dinner.
Okay. Okay.
At a place of my choosing. Oh. You're going to pick that horrible steakhouse again, aren't you?
Is it because it has the word steak in the title? Maybe?
Do you get to join on this dinner? Hayden, asking the real questions here. Can I just tag along a little bit? And then you just see me like hiding behind a massive menu with like a pair of binoculars over the edge, just like, this is normal behavior. You know it. Have you won any other bets in the past, Mr. Gala? Let's see. You say it, Hyde. He's won every single one of the bets we've ever made. Why does that not surprise me? Wow. Yeah, I'm this close to being able to buy a new TV with the money I'm saving on food. Just rub it in my face, why don't you?
Who is it?
Hey, Lua.
Oh, hi everyone. Hey, Lua. Hi, Lua. Busy night, I see. Hi, Miss Lua.
Busy and lively, just the way we like it.
That's good. And I'm really glad you're here, Hyde. I wanted to apologize for the other night. I was so excited to see you, especially since it had been a while. But we ended up fighting with Baileys instead. You must be getting bored of our arguments. It's alright. They're kind of fun to watch. How are things with you two, by the way? Just let me order before I answer. If that's alright, Stephanie.
Of course. What would you like?
Spend the whole day talking in meetings and presentations, so I have a bit of a sore throat. Is there anything you recommend for that? Definitely something with lemon and honey. Sounds great. I love a lemon and honey drink then, please.
Absolutely. I could just make you just a nice standard tea with lemon and honey. Or do I have anything special? Can I unlock some shit? Yee, maxed out for Hyde. Self-summary, part of the Lost Angels Agency, old enough yet still seeking the truth and purpose of life. Favorite things, the fact that I've been blood sober for 10 years now, what I'm doing with my life. Currently a model, past stock trader, entrepreneur, venture capitalist.
Like.
Yeah, let's just try it, just a standard tea with lemon and honey. I think this one was called cough syrup. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yes. Oh, that sounds perfect for her. That's my favorite Shakespeare play, by the way. Midsummer Night's Dream.
Here you go. Some honey to soothe, some lemon to boost recovery. Thanks, Dr. Stephanie. Oh, this is truly lovely. Just what I needed. That's great to hear. My company's trying to get a big contract, so I've been organizing meetings with everyone, making sure it's all going according to plan. That sounds pretty tough. Yeah, it's a lot of responsibilities and decision making, and part of me likes that, but part of me feels the pressure of it. So it's nice to be able to unwind with a warm cup.
It's so good. I'm so glad I saw the Globe Theatre's rendition on YouTube and they were doing that. I think when that came out, sorry, brief tangent again, we're talking about Shakespeare, which always piques my interest because I studied it at a university and I love it. when when it was during lockdown, the Globe Theatre was releasing like some uploads of some of their film productions, and one of the ones they did was for my favorite adaptation, or one of my favorite adaptations of A Midsummer Night's Dream, where it was much more traditional. Everyone was wearing like Elizabethan clothing and everything, but when you got to the fairies, they were all like pagan inspired. So you had Oberon in just like brown leather pants, and you had Parke in like color, like glittery body paint and like twigs and stuff in his hair like antlers, and it was just so cool. It's just so cool. Scarlet, I thought we were friends. Why do you do this to me? I hate you. I hate you so much, but I'll do it. Scarlet has redeemed to pick my voice for Kermit. I have so many regrets. I wish I never said that I could do the Kermit voice. Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. Alright, be prepared to hear these once very hot voices done in a very dumb way. Anyhow, to answer your earlier question, Gala, you've probably gathered that Bai and I have been fighting. Yeah, and Hai told me a little bit about it, too. Right, well, we haven't discussed the wedding for the past couple of days. And honestly, it's done me a lot of good. The thing is, I know Bai means well. He suggests all these things that he thinks I'd like. And I should like them. He's paying attention, just not just sending random ideas. I should be grateful that he's trying to please me. But I get annoyed instead. And then I start feeling guilty that I'm annoyed. Which makes me even more annoyed. It's not great, I know. Well, it'd be easier if we always acted rationally. If we only got annoyed at the right people for the right reasons. But things aren't that simple, are they? That's true. Although, I guess if you figured out what actually annoys you, it would help. And that's the problem. I'm not sure. At first, I thought I was tired or worried. The decision-making at my job is taking a toll, for sure. It's a bit hard for me to also deal with organizing things in my personal life. Also, the financial side of it is hard to navigate. I don't want Bai to spend too much money, but he's right that involving my family comes with strings attached. I'm not sure how to avoid that though. But I'm realizing that might not even be the main issue. The more he sends me links to venues and caterers, the more it all feels wrong to me. I don't mean the wedding itself. I want to get married to Bai. The way we're planning it, well, I don't know. I've been to my friends' weddings before. I've also been browsing the most popular wedding pictures online. Always these big parties, very put together, very classy. They have their whole families over, their friends, their colleagues. They rent these beautiful barns and then hire live bands. They wear designer dresses and bespoke suits. I'm surprised that my friends who are that amazing band led by Dr. Teeth, I'm surprised they don't get invited to more weddings. Maybe since that time that animal exploded out of the cake. That makes sense. But they'd be a great wedding band. Wear designer dresses and bespoke suits. I used to look at that and think, this is great, this is what I want. You guys don't want to see Miss Piggy's Pinterest board for when she wants to get married. She has some amazing ideas, but there's so many flowers. I used to look at that and think, this is great, this is what I want. But now it all just feels more and more off to me. Why don't you tell your fiancé that? What if he thinks I'm getting cold feet? Well, what's wrong with having cold feet? I have cold feet.
Well, then I'm questioning his ability to help with the budget. That's up to how you communicate it, isn't it? Right, but it's still a difficult topic. We've been through so much, you all know that. This is supposed to be our special day, a way to celebrate our partnership. I wants to honor that. He'll feel awful if he thinks I don't. Or if he thinks I don't trust him. I swear, you and your elf are still well matched. You always worry so much about what others think, instead of working out your own wants and needs. You do realize that's the important bit, right? I mean, generally, yes, I get that. Then how does it apply here? What do you think it means to honor your partnership? To declare it properly, for starters? Right. And who are you in that partnership with? I believe you've met him. The blonde guy with the puppy eyes? Right. I'm glad you remember that. Because you were making it sound like you were in a relationship with your friends who got married. And the strangers who put wedding pictures online. This is your relationship you're celebrating. Why are you so concerned with other people's weddings? Your special day needs to make sense for the two of you. Have it in trainers at a fast food joint, if that's what you like. And we come to the end of that Pick My Voice. Thank you so much for requesting Kermit. Scarlet, you are the friend whose gifts just keep on giving. But seriously, I do love you, you're amazing, and thank you so much for coming by tonight. Also, I can start talking about the wedding industry and how ridiculously, expensive it is to get married these days, so... But that's an entirely different conversation. I already had one tangent tonight. But yeah, to summarize it, the wedding industry is very, very expensive. They hike the prices up for everything if you say you're getting married. So honestly, do whatever you want to do that's within your budget. Don't get swept away with what people are doing on Pinterest, because that is up into the triple digits of or 6 figures of how expensive it is for if you want to reach Pinterest goals. Just do what you want to do with your partner or partners if you're getting married, and do what makes you happy. You don't feel compelled to invite people that you feel obligated to invite, but you don't want there to celebrate your special day. Just do what makes you happy, that celebrates your relationship. Don't be swept up in what Pinterest says that your wedding should look like. Can you do any other Muppet voices asking for a friend? Unfortunately, no, I cannot. Just an okay Kermit. I'm cooking for a wedding at the end of the month. 150 people. Food alone is 250k. Amen, chef. Amen. The food side of things, not to mention, do you have any idea how expensive fresh flowers are at weddings? Those beautiful big arrangements that you see all over Pinterest of flowers hanging from the ceiling. That alone is at least 100k just for the flowers. So do what makes you happy, that's within your budget, and remember, it's for one day. Sure, you'll make memories that will last a lifetime, but at the end of the day, it's for one celebration that typically only happens on one day. So do what makes you happy, do what makes your both you and your partner happy, and don't be swept up by what people tell you you have to do or you feel obligated that you have to do. Have it in trainers at a fast food joint if that's what you like. That way you can also take the budget out of the equation. A simpler wedding won't feel shabby if you make it feel properly yours. I still want a pretty outfit and decent food. Thank goodness. But point well taken. It's just... my family might have certain expectations. Did they openly say that? No? Then maybe they do. Or maybe you just think that they do. The only way to find out is to talk to them. Besides, isn't Bailey's also about to become your family? You sure are the only family he's got. Next week, Pick My Voice, 5,000 points. Kermit Voice, 50,000 points. Don't you dare take this away from me. Now there's an idea.
Make it so that Scarlet can't make me do the Kermit voice in every stream. But you shouldn't put their needs above your own. I really shouldn't, should I? You've given me food for thought. Thanks, Hyde. My pleasure. Amazing how you perk up when you give people advice, Hyde. Maybe you should become a therapist. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I can kind of see that. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. To be fair, I haven't redeemed Kermit in like 3 months, Lamau. Valid, that is very valid. Scarlet has shown restraint in that capacity, and she just likes throwing that curveball at me whenever I'm least suspecting it. Helsing Bridge 5. God, I love that series. I did say I might become a couples counselor, but I agree with what you all implied. I don't think I'm quite tactful enough for that. Are you looking to change careers, Hyde? He's bored of modelling. Finds it too impermanent. Wants to leave a mark. Wants to have fun. Just a very quick summary. Oh, I see. Like, if you will permit me, let me just dip my toe back into the previous conversation about fashion, because I very much understand where Hyde is coming from when it comes to the contrast of like how high fashion was in like say 80s and 90s, as opposed to like when we got to the 2000s and the boom of social media. So you might have celebrities or iconic models be like a featured like muse or like a celebrity attached to a particular ad campaign, but I genuinely miss so many aspects of like high fashion when it was like, I know the high fashion industry is super toxic and there's many faults in it, like massive faults, but my favorite designer was, because he is no longer with us, was Alexander McQueen, and his shows for his collections are burned into my brain on how incredible they were. Like, there's a lot you can say about high fashion as well as fast fashion, but there's moments in high fashion at his shows where he would have a particular muse or like a celebrity that would work with him or that he would feature that are just like then eternal in that particular point of fashion in the fashion world. Like Kate Moss in Alexander McQueen's, I can't remember what collection it was, but she was like using this illusion, she was projected as a specter, as a ghost floating in this kind of suspended animation in this grey dress that made it look like she was a specter, like she was a ghost surrounded by smoke, and it was iconic. Like, I haven't been keeping up with a lot of modern high fashion just because I've been like just busy with other stuff, and a lot of like newer high fashion doesn't really appeal to me in the same way, but there's so many moments in high fashion that just like are iconic models paired with like iconic designers, and then like they become immortal. But can you really name a lot of like contemporary moments that aren't the Met Gala? Because there's been amazing moments in the Met Gala that I could go into, but it's like stuff that happened in like the late 1990s or the late 1900s. I feel old. That just don't exist in the same way that they do nowadays. And I don't know whether that's like the rise of social media and just like this it feels like a quicker turnaround, so there's less of a chance for immortality to happen. Because like even like last year already feels nostalgic in strange ways because of our skewed perception of how time works. I'm gonna get back to the game. I'm going on a tangent again. So, sorry about that. I just had to like dip my toe back in there for a hot second. Like I said, I don't know much, but I know that there's some models who are still known for a single ad campaign they did. Yes, because they had like, it was either pushing a boundary or it was like so iconic in the way that it looked and came across, and it was just iconic moments in fashion. So good! Okay, but I'll get back to the game. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, I see. Well, it's the only way you can make modeling fun again.
Late 1900s, why must you say that? Well, you know, for us eternal creatures, you know, we just happen to drift through eternity. So when I say late 1900s, you know, when about was I truly brought about in said 1900s? Maybe it was the 1700s. And it was only in the 1900s that I decided to let my presence be known.
I don't think so. Last time I had proper fun was maybe 20 years ago. What happened then? I was modeling a capsule collection for a young designer. She wanted to take her own pictures. She got a studio, logged the outfits there, found someone to do the makeup.
Honestly, if you search like Alexander McQueen, Kate Moss, I think it should come up with a video of the performance. Or not performance, but they did film it, so it could be memorialized and like live on for eternity. But I think if you Google search like Alexander McQueen collection, like Alexander McQueen runway Kate Moss or something, and then it should come up. It's one where she's kind of spectral in a ghostly dress. Yes, hologram, that's it. Yes, if you search Alexander McQueen Kate Moss hologram, that's it.
And it's so cool. She got a studio, logged the outfits there, found someone to do the makeup. Then she whipped out an old film camera, a proper relic. I hadn't seen one like it since the 60s. My granddad has an old black and silver camera with 2 lenses. Was it something like that? Yep, exactly like that. She said she preferred it because of the way it captured the light. And also because it was a slower experience. Something that would allow us to connect more. At first I didn't think much of it. I started doing the usual, posing, switching posing some more. Something felt different. Then I realized what it was. Most of the time we were just talking. She only took a picture once in a few minutes, if that. Is that unusual? Yep, most fashion photographers take dozens of pictures in a row. I felt a bit sorry for her, to be honest. I thought she didn't know what she was doing, and that she was wasting her money. But we had a great time and we got kind of friendly, I guess.
Yes, if you're looking at a particular runway, it will usually caption it if it is like a collaboration, but usually if you're looking up a runway for a particular designer or like a certain collection, then it's all that one designer, all from his like own imagination, and I miss him so much. I miss Alexander McQueen so much.
Because at the end of it, she let me use up the remaining exposures. I fooled around, shot some random stuff, and one portrait of her. Then she suggested I come with her to her darkroom. Watch how she developed the pictures and how they came out. He always did have a fondness for dark places. Comes with the territory. But as for the pictures, well, they were gorgeous. First of all, I looked really like me, you know? A me I could recognize. But that's not even what stuck with me the most. It's the care she put into processing each frame, working each picture through the chemical baths, hanging them, drying them. It was like watching a magic ritual. And her portrait. When she saw it, she got a bit emotional. She said she was used to being on the other side of the camera, and it was the first time she really liked a portrait someone took of her. I'm in a weird place these days.
Hey, Talon, how's it going?
It's not like me to tell these kinds of tales.
But they're all amazing, Hyde.
Or to launch into soppy monologues, really. Just forget it. No, I think it's a beautiful story. And it gives me an idea, I think, of another career for you. Please share, Lua. You'll be doing both of us a solid. Go on, then. Well, maybe it's because I've looked at so many of them recently, and apparently film is making a big comeback for wedding pictures. It's what you said. It captures the light beautifully. And it's a more personal, slow approach. Maybe you could try that. Who, me?
Hey Andy, how's it going?
No, the other vampire who's looking for a new line of work. I think you've got the wrong guy here, Lua. I know I'm disgustingly sentimental these days, but I'm not that far gone. Attending one wedding gives me cavities, let alone several per month. Oh, well, forget about it then. No. Don't forget about it at all. It will be perfect for you. Come on, hide.
I always get so happy when I see you stream. Oh, thank you, Andy. And I'm really happy when all of you guys come and join me for my streams.
I know you like to play strong and sarcastic, but you are sentimental. And you love to chat people up. You'd solve all the bridesmaids' drama and offend the parents. But most importantly, you do something for these people that they'll never forget. They'll look at your pics their whole lives. If that's not leaving a mark, I don't know what is. You're assuming they won't get divorced?
I don't know if this is the right topic for Miss Lua.
It's alright. I know some marriages end in divorce, but that doesn't change anything, does it? Whether a marriage lasts for a few months or several decades, the wedding is still an unforgettable moment in someone's life. That career in the Mafia is really looking up. You're hopeless. I'm falling asleep in my chair now, so I'm gonna head back. Do whatever you want, you thick-skulled vampire.
Lion, it's a Vince! It's a Vince! How's it going, Lion Johan? Oh, Vince, how's it going? I miss you. Thank you so much for dropping by. It's a steppy step. Look at it with the talking coffees. We're having a good time over here at Coffee Talk, and thank you so much for coming by.
Just don't stay too late, okay?
Yeah, right.
That's my cue as well. I have some thinking to do. And maybe some talking. Thanks again, Hyde. And good luck. I hope your next adventure is a good one.
Like, Vince, when we eventually get the chance to meet up face to face, you bet your ass I'm gonna give you the biggest hug. 'Cause I miss you!
It will be. Good night, Lua. Good night, Stephanie. See you later. Good night, you two.
Lua looks less like a demon, more like a tiefling in a slice of life D&D campaign. Yeah, in this game, she's like what's known as a succubus. I'm not sure if succubus is a general term for people who like physically identify as like male and female, but she herself is a succubus.
Here we go again. Last one sitting. I mean,
I could get used to this. I miss your face too! I miss your face so much, Vince!
Indeed. Proper night owls. You didn't say anything about that wedding photographer idea. It's ridiculous, right? That's not for me to say, but I wouldn't call it ridiculous. It sounds like you enjoyed the whole film photography experience. And you do like being around people, don't you?
Okay. If you'll let me be narcissistic for a hot second while we just let Hyde stare at us broodingly. For years, even since I was like a teenager, I've been so self-conscious of how I look in profile. But honestly, since being on Twitch and me having to physically turn my head to see, like, chat and check on my second screen, and having to, like, see my face in profile more and more. Like, I'm really pleased with how it's been looking, like, past couple of weeks. I've been, like, working out a lot more, really trying to prioritize taking care of my health and fitness, and I don't know, I've always been self-conscious of, like, the way my face looks in profile, because when I was younger, I was a lot heavier set, so I was really self-conscious of the way that I looked, especially in my face, but I'm really pleased with how it looks more and more. Also, Steph, when's the merch idea we talked about yesterday? I think there was a couple of people who were part of that conversation, so we just need to get a round table going and then we'll discuss it further, okay? Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Like, I don't know, because, like, on camera, like, I've always been, like, a little bit sliding on self-conscious in some aspects. Like, I'm so proud of the way that I look nowadays, but this has been, like, years and years in the making, like more than 15 years of like ups and downs and all that good stuff. So when I'm like on camera and there's like a little bit of color balancing going on, but there's no like Snapchat filter or anything like that, and this is just me, yeah, a little bit of makeup, but it's me. So just being proud of the way that my face looks in profile. It's just one of those like little happy internal milestones that I just wanted to share with you guys. Stephanie Swanquills, model, voice actor, streamer, writer, absolute queen, badass, the best buddy who's getting the biggest fucking hugs! Well, not before I give you the biggest fucking hugs! I do. Sometimes. But I'm not a romantic. People get married, they think they're taking a first step into forever. Hi Logan, I didn't know you were watching. How have you been, Logan? I hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you, Sam. All your friends are stopping by tonight, Steph. I know it's an amazing friendship party and it's wonderful, so hi everyone. All the other people, talk, get to know each other. Also, Vince, Logan, Vince, aka Lion Jotun, they're also a really cool bean, and they're really awesome and cool. And just, there's a lot of my friends, like, in this chat, and it makes me really happy. So, hello everyone, thank you so much for dropping by tonight. People get married, they think they're taking a first step into forever. Well, there's no such thing as forever. Says the vampire. Okay, go off. Everyone ends up disappointed in some way, and then next thing you know... Oh, I don't want to sound too depressing. Yeah, I was feeling a little too Anne Rice there for a minute, so you want to reel that back in, Hyde. So you don't believe in love? Of course I do, but only in a certain kind. You can choose to keep supporting someone to enjoy their company. You can do that for years, with friends, families, lovers. But at the end of the day, you're still you, a separate person. And they're still them. There's no two souls becoming one, not really. I'd know. The one time I tried, it really didn't work out. But do you regret trying? Do you? No, I guess I don't. It confirmed for me that marriage and the like, it's never going to be my thing. But there's freedom in knowing that about myself. It's given me space to build other relationships that work much better. But at the same time, when I see people who truly believe it, people who walk into it willing to share their lives so closely, even if for most of them it won't pan out, there's something beautiful there. Like watching a butterfly fly too close to a flame, or a flower bloom like it will never wilt. Well, in my case, I singed off my wings, but I'm still here. And on that day, for that minute when I said we'd be together forever and meant it,
I sure felt alive. If you know all that, then you must also know that it's something worth celebrating. And something worth helping other people celebrate. You're a tricksy one, Stephanie.
Maybe.
I like keeping people on their toes. And I'm too tired to fight your logic. Which means it's time for me to head back. Of course, Mr. Hyde. And I meant to say, I appreciate our one-to-one chats. I hope we can keep providing you with comfortable space here. Oh, it's plenty comfortable for sure.
From Vince, I have no clue how I lucked out to get Steph as a friend, but when I'm still working hard on being a better me than I've been in the earlier years of my life. But every day I'm grateful for our friendship because Steph to me is irreplaceable, and I'd do anything for her, no matter if I'm feeling lower than dirt, kicking myself, or I'm ill as hell. What for you, Steph? I love you too, Vincent. Thank you so much. You're a very good being and a very good friend. And I'm sorry that I've been really shitty about keeping in contact, but we're both adults with our own chaotic, busy lives, and genuinely, I hope you're doing okay. Like, you take care of yourself as best as you possibly fucking can, and I'll be here with hugs. Hugs and good vibes. You're not shitty, stop it. I'll stop it when you stop it, okay?
Oh, it's plenty comfortable for sure. Besides, well, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? The way time passes for me is very different from anyone else I know. Thank goodness, Gala is from a long-living species. But even then, he'll grow old before I do, eventually. The world will change 100 times, technologies will die out, new technologies will come. I'll feel again the way I feel now, in a century, maybe two. And Lua and Gala won't be around to give me advice. The world won't wait for me. You will. Am I right, Stephanie?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Hyde. Thank you for the stretch check. This guy knows some shit. Hey, DJ Axeman, how's it going? I'm just gonna avoid Hyde staring at me and check my phone real quick. Guess where I am? I sure as hell don't know. Hi, Hyde, you're still looking at me. Oh, everything's great. And from Lua. Lover of the bright moonlight, believer in a life without fight. I'm a big fan of art and poetry. What I'm doing with my life, working 9 to 5 in a trading company by day, going to poetry readings and museums on the weekends, enraptured by the forbidden fruit. Honestly, she sounds like me in so many ways. Thank you for the hydrate check. Also, the soundtrack is great. I'm just vibing with it.
Will you well? Am I right, Stephanie?
That is very perceptive of you, Mr. Hyde.
Hey, you've grown to know me quite well. It's only fair that I know you a little in return. I suppose that's true. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that. To continuing our story. It's nice to know that no matter how much time passes, there's always going to be someone here rooting for me. Thank you for your trust, Mr. Hyde. We will make sure it's not misplaced. I know you will. And on that note, I guess I'm going to go browse for some film cameras. What's the worst that can happen? Indeed. Take care of yourself, friend. And you as well.
We're friends!
Are you lost?
Nah, he's fine.
The world won't wait for you, Mr. Hyde. but some of us will. I love you.
Do we have any canon statement on the nature of the protagonist of this game? Like, are we also some ageless creature? It's towards, like there's an epilogue at the end of the first game that dipped our toe into some interesting ideas. Yeah, it's somewhat implied at the ending of one, and there are secrets in the second playthrough if you played through the first game on a second round. It's a bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen it, but there's some stuff that's implied that we as the character, there's a lot more about to us than we're leading on. But Doc Artemis, thank you so much for the 7th month resub. Welcome back, and thank you so much. Thank you. Lean back in my chair a bit, make myself more comfy. Evening Whispers, Thursday, September 28th, 2023. New image recognition tech confuses gnomes with dwarves. A review. Robots asked to give ultimate advice. Elven burnout is real. Here's how to avoid it. Good evening. Hey, Jorji. Alright, let's just quickly check everyone's status and see how they're doing. It looks to be good. A girl always has her secrets. Like? On top of the morning tea or hungover but feeling awesome. I've just spent almost 2 hours checking on the mobile game, and the App Store, the amount of copycat games is just staggering. No delivery today. We'll resume tomorrow. Officer, welcome. Hey, Stephanie. How are you doing? Officer? Oh. Sorry. My mind is kind of elsewhere right now. No worries. Work issues? What else? I'm all ears if you want to chat. You're a pal. I'm in a real bind, Stephanie. What happened? Well, never any workplace issues aside, things are getting weirder by the minute, and I'm feeling out of my depth. Are you talking about your recent patrols? Yeah. I've been analysing the CCTV footage the last couple of days. Oh, I see. How did that go? Did the cameras manage to capture anything? Yes and no. The infrared's caught a couple of blurry things. They ran off, turned a corner and disappeared. Could have been anything like rats or cats. But neither fits with what I heard on the scene. Footsteps, you know? The laughter. Come to think of it, it sounded more like giggles. Giggles? Can werebeasts giggle? Not at that size, no. Even if they could, it doesn't explain the footsteps, really. I see. So what's next? I have some ideas, but they're just mild theories at this point. Wild theories, sorry. In short, I'm stumped. You know, Stephanie, I've been racking my brains ever since Miss Riona dropped that bomb about the fairies, you see? Oh? Well, what about them? As it turns out, fairies were an umbrella term for many types of beings. Anything that didn't fit the known physical rules at the time was to be referred to as such. Oh. Does that mean banshees were part of the fairy folk? Probably. Not anymore, though. It's an ongoing process, but the list is getting shorter. But back then, any sentient being that was even remotely incomprehensible was considered that. And that includes apparitions. Apparitions? Yes. Apparitions, like... ghosts. Ghosts? Ghosts!
Are we gonna get... Can we serve drinks to ghosts? Please? Please let us serve drinks to ghosts.
I like the spookiness.
I see. What do you mean, I see? Doesn't it sound like a bad joke to you? I'm not sure I follow. Not until you start serving spirits! Ah! This is so bad! Boo, but also yay, but also boo! Bud, come on. Ghosts don't exist. Do they? We live in a world with banshees, fauns, vampires, werewolves, merpeople, orcs, and succubi and elves. Of course they exist. Of course they exist. Do they? Because if they do, all I can think about is that damn tree now. Right, the tree. Does that mean it's haunted? It could be. Don't get how you can be so calm about this. Huh? Well, why wouldn't I be? I mean, there have been all sorts of customers here. Some of them are so out of this world even. Ha 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 ha! Don't know what I'm talking about. Sometimes literally. You're right. I guess you're not the one who's been being weird here. Don't say that. Everyone has their own, That's a word! Peccadillos? Peccadillos? Everyone has their own peccadillos. Apologies if I mispronounced that. True that. If you don't mind telling me though, may I ask the reason you're so afraid of ghosts? Gosh no. That's a long story. Not something I'm ready to talk about anyway. That's understandable. All you need to know is my fear was never caused by actual ghosts. Oh? Suggestion is a very powerful thing, Stephanie. But that's all I'm willing to share for now. Peccadillo, a relatively minor fault or sin. Our new word of the night. Thank you so much, Hayden. Okay, thanks for sharing. You know, it's funny. My grandpop was very into this stuff. So is my daughter. They're like my opposites, very curious and fascinated by the unknown. And my pronunciation was correct. Good to know. Not that I'm not, mind you. It's just with my time as a cop and all, unknown variables usually mean trouble. I see. That makes sense. They're the kind of people who could see things from nothing. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, you knew the Zen rock garden thing from Japan? They understand the zen-ness of it. I don't, but that doesn't stop me from thinking it's chill, you know? I think you almost got it. Yeah? But I'm sure he and my daughter could talk about it for hours. Too bad he passed away before she was born. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. On that note, Stephanie, you've seen my lighter, right? I'd say I'm pretty well acquainted with it now, yes. My bad. The thing was originally my grandpop's. He brought it sometime after the war ended. It was to commemorate the upcoming new era, he said. In more ways than one. He got honorably discharged due to a severe leg injury he'd never be able to recover from. Ah. At the time, he was living right across the street from the former town hall. For obvious reasons, he couldn't walk far. So it was a good location for him with all the veterans' support nearby and all. Right. Now, about that street. You see, my grandpop liked to chat. Never liked being alone, that guy. Plus, he pretty much hated his bleak room. So sometimes he'd go and hang out with the street vendors in front of his place. There were all kinds of beings there, along with their pets, from all walks of life. That's why he had a lot of stories about the craziest things. Ah, I see. You see, the street's name just came to my mind last night. Can you take a guess what it is? You mean... Bourne Street, uh-huh. It wasn't called that before. That's why the whole thing didn't click for me right away. But I went through his files and it checks out. Interesting, okay. Does it mean the vendors he was talking about? Bingo. And you know what? He bought the lighter there. Wow, what a coincidence. Are you sure it's only a coincidence? What do you mean? Come on. Ain't no way they're just coincidences, Stephanie. Everything is lining up too perfectly, if you ask me. Uh-oh. Think about what's happened so far. It was my team that found out about the vandalism before they dumped the whole case on me. Then my car was hit out of everyone's. Right. Then my luck started tanking. The broken mug, the fan, the black cat. Just tons of weird stuff happening in the past week alone, you see. Right. The one thing led to another. My team was chosen to lead the investigation. And tell me, who's in charge of the case? Me. And there's the Banshee lady, your patron, with some information I wouldn't have thought of. The dead tree stuff, the fairy market. Information I wouldn't even have remembered on my own. Right. And now we know why I kept on losing my lighter, right? How are they not connected? Tell me. Well, if you list them all in order like that... I'm telling you, Stephanie, that place is calling for me. The case is made for me. But they really picked the wrong guy. I'm just real bad at dealing with spooks. They make me question everything I've ever known, you know? But I've always thought you're pretty good at handling ambiguity, officer. Not when it comes to supernatural stuff. Because we don't know about what's real and what's not. What will they do? Will they hurt us? Do they bring bad luck? Good luck? What's the truth? Who knows? Maybe you should take a day off and catch up on your sleep. Huh? What's that? Mood. Once is coincidence, twice is happenstance, 3 times it's ghosts. Very true. No, nothing. You know, another patron of mine suggested a documentary to watch. Yeah? Focus was on interesting drinks from around the world. You could find everything from the mundane to the extreme. From local comforts to really special stuff. And I kept thinking one particular drink might interest you. Oh? It's something like a protection drink. It's made of coffee, honey, lemon, and a sort of other ingredients. Huh. Protection from what, though? From evil spirits and bad luck, I think. Maybe it'll help ease your mind a bit. Ah, gotcha. But Stephanie, even if the whole situation is haunted, there shouldn't be any evil spirits. Right? I wouldn't know. But I might need your lighter. What for? Well, the drink needs to be lit up. I just think your lighter might give it that extra magic boost it needs. Compared to just using a regular flame, I mean. What are you going to make me anyway? No, I trust you. Here. Officer Jorji's lighter. Exudes an interesting feel. Okay, then make me this magical drink you've learned, Stephanie. Okay, it was coffee with honey and... coffee with honey and lemon. Oh, and it's animated. Oh, that's so cool. I'll give him the lighter back. That is so cool. I mean, it's hot, but it's very cool. I imagine it has maybe like a little bit of alcohol just on the surface to make it burn, but that's really cool. Maybe it's like a little bit of rum or something. Hey, Tiger Lily T, how's it going? Welcome back. Alright, and let's serve. Oh, wow. The drink does light up, huh? Yep, this is special just for you. So don't tell anybody. Roger that. Here you go. Ooh, careful. Dang, Stephanie. This is really something else. What alcohol burns blue? I think with the bluish flames, it made me think of like, you know, if you've seen like a Christmas pudding and you pour rum over it and then you light it and it has that kind of bluish flame at the base and it's just a little bit orange just on the tips, but it's mostly blue. I think it's probably rum. This is really something else. You sure it's okay to drink? I have no idea. But I'll take responsibility if anything happens. I'm just being silly, aren't I? Sorry for bothering you with all this stuff, Stephanie. You even made me this crazy drink to make me feel better. Don't say that. I'm always happy to help however I can. Thanks. Man. At least with crooks you can actually deal directly with them, you know? Not the case with apparitions. Oh yeah, like, I'm thinking like Christmas plum puddings. Maybe they're more common in the UK. They're fairly common in Australia for Christmas as well. But it's like the brownish puddings you've seen that are like, really rich, kind of moist, like almost like a fruit cake. But they're really dense and then you pour rum over them and then you light the rum and it has these like blue flames on it. And then once it like cools down, it's got like the rum infused into the pudding. And then you serve that with like ice cream or typically like custard as well. And it's so good. It's really good. Not the case with apparitions. Not with that attitude. Huh? You're new? Everything could be caught with a little elbow grease. Not actual elbow grease. I won't make that mistake again. Hey! It might just be like the coat and the hair parting. He's kind of giving me slight Dale Cooper vibes from Twin Peaks a little bit. McQueen? Is that you? Hello, Williams. Oh, is this like a former officer or something? It's been a while. It is you. The surprises just keep coming this week. Let me go over there. You know each other? More or less. We were brunch buddies. Brunch buddies? Brunch buddies. Oh, look at that coincidence! McQueen! Oh, we were talking about Alexander McQueen earlier tonight! Coincidences! Everything happens for a reason. That's interesting. I would love to try something like that one day, but my delicate constitution will probably not be able to handle the Christmas weather. One of the disadvantages of being born and raised in Los Angeles. Oh, but honestly, like, Tiger Lily, you live in Los Angeles? That's so awesome! I've visited there a couple of times for like holidays and stuff, but I can't wait to be able to go there for like more regularly for like filming stuff, hopefully one day. I feel like I'm meant to say brunch buddies in the same serious tone, but I don't like to talk about it. I still get nightmares. I feel ya. I wasn't sure we were going to make it out alive. We were truly the lucky ones. Oh, Alexander McQueen is a incredible fashion designer who is his work continues to be a huge inspiration to me. Sadly, he's no longer with us. But the McQueen brand of high fashion is still out there, but just the designer is sadly no longer with us. So we were having a conversation earlier tonight about fast fashion and like the fashion industry and stuff, and then I got stuck on like talking about Alexander McQueen because he's my favorite designer and his work is very inspirational to me. So back to the game, without a doubt. I'll just take both of your words for it. Good, because I don't like to talk about it. So what brings you here, detective? Surely it's not the coffee. Secret police reasons. I've not read the briefing yet. But enough about me. Tell me about your supernatural problems. Yeah? You need to bust a ghost? Oh. Well, busting might be a bit much. Let me just check this quickly. Because yes, we added this one. This spell-laden, alcohol-imbued Galician drink is known to ward off evil spirits. Just look at it! And did we unlock some more about Jorji? Or someone else, maybe? Do you know why the Satans from France are more musical than ones from America? Because they have French horns. Boo! I'm sure you will. I believe in you. Let us know when you're ever going to visit. I can give you recommendations for places to visit and food. Not only do I live in Los Angeles, but I live literally 15 minutes away from Hollywood. Are you actually serious, Tiger Lily? That is so genuinely really cool. I've got a couple of friends who live out in LA and live in California. So honestly, that would be absolutely incredible because like LA is a landscape that is always changing. Like new food places are always closing down and new ones are popping up. So having like knowing someone who like lives in the area and knows like good places to visit is actually amazing. So if I'm going to be traveling to like LA at some point, then I'll be posting it on my socials. But honestly, if you see me posting about any of that stuff, feel free to hit me up and send me some ideas for good places to go, for places like breakfast, lunch, dinner, all of the cool places. Well, busting might be a bit much. I was just talking to Stephanie about getting over my fear of that stuff. And ghosts. Something like that. I'm weak against ghostly looking stuff. I get freaked out easily. For example, I admit I got a little spooked by what happened on Bourne Street the other day. Ah, I remember that. I know very well that unchecked fear leads to prejudice. That's why it's a no-go in my book. It even pains me to admit that out loud. Sometimes the toughest case to crack is ourselves. Other times, it's ghosts. How do you do it, detective? Your cases, man. I've probably lost all my hair by now if I were you. I try not to think about it all that much. When I do think about it, I think, who else will do it? Nobody, that's who. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, once you get over the dead part, they're just like you and me. Look, I remember this one case. We were investigating a haunted apartment. This lady, her husband had recently passed away but wasn't moving on, if you get my drift. Real deadbeat, couldn't take a hint. Anyway, we had to go in and exorcise the place, right? Okay, with the talk of exorcisms, I genuinely think he is based maybe a bit off of John Constantine. Like, maybe with the darker hair, he's more like Keanu Reeves's John Constantine, but yeah, with the blonde hair, he'd be more comic book accurate. But yeah, I'm picking up big Constantine vibes from him. But the husband, he's caught wind and he's retreated into the basement. I won't get into the technicalities of it, but it's harder to get a ghost out of the basement or an attic. It's all about angles, really. I mean, I get it. They used to be his home, all his stuff is still there. It's hard, I get that. So, I was slowly going down the stairs to try to coax him out. Bam! Next minute all this romantic music is playing and the whole place is lit by a spotlight. Basic sensory illusions, classic ghost tricks. Then, before I know what hit me, I'm sitting at this pottery wheel and he's behind... Oh, he is a 90s cop! Then before I know what hit me, I'm sitting at this pottery wheel and he's behind me and... Wait. Isn't this the plot of the 1990 film Ghost? I think this guy strikes me more as Castiel from Supernatural. Oh, I gotta give him a Castiel voice. Oh. Maybe. We had a movie night at work and I dozed off before it started. The story must have slipped into my subconscious. Riveting. New person? Hi. Hey, detective. Hey, people I don't know. Did you get your important errand sorted? I sure did. Julie, I could see crumbs stuck to your face. I am an angel of the Lord, and I raised you from perdition. That's just the rain. It's very bready rain. Here's filling. There's filling all over your top. That's blood from a gunshot wound. It's healed up though. You're literally holding the receipt from the donut shop. That's why they pay you the big bucks, detective. So what'd I miss? We're talking about getting rid of Officer Williams' fear of ghosts. Hey. Ghosts? Yeah, you're afraid of them, right, Julie? No idea, never met one. We stopped a ghost riot. Ghosts aren't real. So you don't need to be scared of them. Easy. There you go, I guess. Sorry, that wasn't much help. Nah. What you said, that they're just like us. That's a good thing to be reminded of. Exactly. They used to be alive, just like us. As long as they don't try to eat / possess / violently murder you, you should be fine. Very reassuring. Just talk to them. Feel their culture, listen to their issues and spectral wails. Treat them like any other person. See what's on the inside. Which should be easy since you can see through them. I'm just giving a Dooley like a full himbo voice and I love it. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. It's best not to overthink anything he says. I certainly don't. Well, thanks for the advice. I think it'll help. Our pleasure. Now, Julie, I think we should read that case briefing and find out why we're here. I already did. Oh. Turns out we were meant to arrest the person driving that taxi. Instead of taking it all the way to Seattle, yes. Why? Driver was a chupacabra. Okay, let's get out of here, Dooley. Good luck, officer. Wait, Dooley? I think he's supposed to be based off of Officer Dewey from the Scream franchise. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Oh, like... Or like the himbo officer from like the first Scream movie at least. I could be wrong. Oh my god, yes, okay. I don't know, I haven't seen the Scream movies. I haven't seen like all of the Scream movies. I've seen the first one, but I do need to watch the rest of them. But even the first one, it is iconic for innumerable reasons, and I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Thanks, McQueen, a lot. You too, Officer Dooley. Bye, guy. Good luck with your rat problem or whatever. Bye, coffee was it. Take care. That was quite something. Well, what do you know, Stephanie? Looks like my good luck is back. I'm feeling like $1,000,000 now. I'm very glad you do. Thanks anyway, Stephanie. I really did nothing much. Are you going to be okay? Okay enough to start thinking about what to do next. I'm done here for the night. You have a good evening, alright? Please keep me updated, officer, and stay safe. Will do. Alright then. Maybe I'll go check the stock and... Miss Riona, welcome! How's the traffic out there? It's a mess. There is construction work taking place on Leonora Avenue. Oof. I can imagine the gridlock already. Fortunately, I have no deliveries to make today. That's great, I'm happy you're here. So, anything I can make for you this evening? I like something for my throat. I would appreciate a cup of tea infused with some lemon and a touch of honey. I could absolutely do that with for you. Some lemon and a touch of honey. Okay, there was the Midsummer Night's Dream, but then there was also specifically the cough syrup, which was with green tea. I'm kind of curious, like, I just want to try making the green tea and see if that results in the cough syrup. Or I just want to add this to my book of collections, so she did specifically want something for her throat, but she didn't specify tea she wanted, so I think I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to make the Midsummer Night's Tea, I think. Yeah, I'm going to play it safe and make the one with regular tea. There you go. A cup of warm Midsummer Night's Dream for you, miss. That's what we call it here. How whimsical. It's wonderful. Sweet but well balanced with the lemon, and the slight bitterness of the tea completes the taste. Thank you. You're so very welcome. By the way, you just missed Officer Jorji by a few seconds. Is that so? How is he? He's been thinking about what you said quite a bit, actually. Oh. He's currently dealing with plenty of clues he hasn't used to. I want their hair so bad. Riona's hair is a absolute stunning marvel, and I love it so much. That's why he's hard at work at the moment. I see. Would you mind doing me a favor? Oh, what do you need? Could you give my contact information to him? We only connected via Bluetooth last time, so... Oh? An email address and phone number are written on it, belonging to Riona Sheeran. A piece of a blue card with an email address and phone number written on it. I could absolutely do that. What I said a few days ago may have been a bit overwhelming. Is it possible that I spoke more than was necessary? All because I couldn't help but feel a pang of bitterness knowing what happened to the tree. That's entirely understandable, though. But it is not my intention to interfere with his work. And as such, if he requires any assistance, please, do let me know. It is the least I could do, as I realized there would be plenty of difficulty obtaining information. Oh, I mean because Officer Jorji is a human. And we semi-physical beings have our own way of sharing information, such as... I understand what you mean. Oh, Steph's hair is already perfection. Me, I want more pretty hair. I'm honestly genuinely so happy with how my hair turned out. Like, I usually get like the same cut, but my stylist asked me if I wanted to go for a slightly like shaggier cut with my hair, and I said yes, and because I have a lot of trust in my stylist for the salon that I go to, and it turned out so perfect. Like, I'm so happy with the way my hair looks at the moment, so I'm just making a mental note to just keep coming back as much whenever I need a retouch. Okay. I just do not wish to incriminate anything or anyone. It's fine, I get it. I'm glad. I'd say you've already helped him out in more ways than one.
Shaggy hair that makes you already loom like you're walking down a red carpet. Ah, your hair is wonderful, Steps. Looks a bit like my elder cousins back when, Oh, that's so cool! So yeah, like, honestly, I love the kind of, like, slightly shaggy, like, kind of rock and roll look, because then I can, like, honestly be super versatile with my outfits, because it fits if I'm more casual look, or even if I go slightly more formal, like, I had the same hair for, like, the wedding, and it has, like, that kind of, like, relaxed, like, fun look, but it also looks like you do care about it, like, it's styled in a certain way, and it's, like, got an interesting, like, layers to it, so it's honestly, it's just, like, a nice, versatile hairstyle that I don't have to use a hairdryer or a curling iron to get it looking good. Sorry, did you say something? I was zoning out a little. She's blushing! Oh, she's so pretty. No, nothing. I'll pass it on to him. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Bad traffic aside, how are you? To be honest, I've had a lot on my mind of late. And I don't know how to express it without sounding pathetic. You know I'm all ears. That may actually be part of the problem, I am afraid. Pardon? You know, I've held conversations with more individuals over the past week than I have in the past few years. Is that a good or a bad thing? It's troubling. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't mean it necessarily in a negative way. It's just... I used to believe that I had a settled life objective. But I have been doubting it lately. How come? I finally heard back from Miss Rachel yesterday. Oh, any good news? No. Our fields are admittedly quite different, so I was not expecting much. However, she provided me with some contacts who may be of assistance, even though they had no direct connection to the audience I'm trying to reach. I see. She explained clearly why she thinks I should contact them, however, which I'm thankful for. That's very thoughtful of her. So what's the battle plan? And why are you doubting yourself? In essence, the advice is to slowly increase my network, to make myself known. Oh? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? You can probably guess my concern about it. I think so, but you could give me a refresher, just so I don't misunderstand. I feel like it would be a shortcut, so to speak. Right. She did, however, remind me of an important and humbling fact. What would that be? Well... When Rihanna gives that little smile, my heart melts a little bit. Honestly, look at her! How can you not absolutely adore her with a, like, beautiful, soft smile like that? Like, she's so sweet. Well... Oh, but it's not guaranteed you'll get anything out of it, don't you think? Unless you're really, really sure the so-called shortcut is 100% gonna work. Because you'll have to do way, way more than just making a few calls and waiting for callbacks, you know. I'd say that's a decent impression of her. Thank you. After that, she told me a story about her early career experiences, both the good and the bad. Getting noticed is truly only the beginning. Then it's either a matter of letting your talent speak for you, or you go out there to develop connections with the right people. Even then, there's still no guarantee of success. It's scary. Like, genuinely, speaking as someone who's, like, trying to get into, like, larger fields, like, bit by bit of, like, getting more interested in acting and stuff like that, it is scary and daunting, but you just do the best you can. You make as many friends as you can, like, genuine connections, not just, like, in the hopes of, like, getting success from your relationships. Just making those connections with people is what truly matters. And then like, because then as a community we get stronger and we help each other out. Hey friends, I need some song recommendations, but let's make it fun. Any songs that remind you of Stephanie? Let me know. I'll go first. Witch by Devon Cole. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, if you're looking for like song recommendations, I'd highly recommend, if you like metal, I would highly recommend the new album by Sleep Token. I'm a little bit obsessed with it at the moment, so I'm recommending it to everyone. And I would also recommend, if you want to listen to the album, listen to it in the track order and don't shuffle it. Just because they're very much a band where when they put together an album, they have like a full kind of experience, like in terms of like how the music's listened to and stuff, so I'd highly recommend that. After listening to her explanation, I respect Miss Rachel's determination. I can certainly see how it worked out for her. Cursed by the Crane Wives? I need to listen to more of the Crane Wives, actually. But then I was left wondering whether Mr. Lucas meant something similar during our first meeting. Right, I thought it all sounded familiar. Will you try a suggestion then? I don't know. Is it difficult? No more difficult than sending reels to every audition I've come across. And being rejected by every single one. But for some reason I feel conflicted about it. Speaking of Mr. Lucas, he and I have also continued our correspondence. Although perhaps it was more like a necessity. Did something happen? Yes, I'm seeing Sleep Token in September. That is awesome! That is awesome! I tried to get tickets for their Wembley Stadium performance here in London, but it sold out in like 10 minutes, so I wasn't able to. But hopefully I could see them maybe next year. Did something happen? He was stuck. Bohemian Rhapsody is what I think Stephanie's theme song when she voice acts. Okay, to be fair, like, I do get to flex my range a little bit in games like this, but I can kind of see that. They added on to Blue Ridge Rock Fest and I already had tickets. Oh, that is awesome, Chef. I really hope you have an amazing time. Pardon? Actually, he posted about it on social media last night. Oh. I might have seen it. Did you? I came across it when I was updating my schedule and responded out of concern. Oh, that's it. Because, yeah, we looked at that. Yeah, wasn't it like last night's thing? Oh, we unlocked a bit about Riona. Riona, birthday 18th September, self-summary, singer, groover, part-time. Hell yes. I came across it when I was updating my schedule and responded out of concern. Then he called me almost immediately. He was loud. All sounds in order. And extremely drunk. Really? That doesn't sound good. He denied it at first. Took a look through my tunes playlist and Final Girl by Graveyard Guy gives me Steph vibes. I can see that. Another Stephanie-inspired song. I know it's a Fleetwood Mac track, but I forget the name. There's Rhiannon and a ton, Seven Wonders. There's a ton of amazing Fleetwood Mac songs. The Chain. Just like a white-winged dove sings a song, that's why she's singing. But it was too obvious not to notice. He told me he was walking aimlessly, deep in thought, and entered Kerry Park without realizing he had done so. Must have been some deep thinking he was doing, because I think it rained pretty hard last night.
Well, I wouldn't know. The bus to and from there is currently not operating after 10 p.m. Which is why I sent him a message informing him of that fact, as he seemed to be unaware of it. Right. So he called me to ask. Okay, not to toot my own horn here, but if you want a song that for me kind of gives me like, okay, this feels like this is my song. I love the song Killer Queen by Queen. She keeps the Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet. Let them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette. She's a killer queen, gunfire in a limousine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Okay, back to game, sorry. Got a little bit distracted there. We're having karaoke time. So he called me to ask if there was any other mode of public transit nearby. Wouldn't it have been easier for him to just call a cab? He told me he wanted to know the city better. At midnight? Why not? After all, you operate your business after dark yourself. That laugh gives me shivers. So happy to hear you laugh so freely. I love laughing. I love just like laughing with my whole chest. Like sometimes I just like get super giddy, but just I'm having a really good time tonight, guys. Like this stream, like it feels like I've been like just so much more relaxed and just like vibing with you guys, and this is just so much fun because I was a little bit worried because I've been quite tired today. I was actually really low energy this afternoon, but I'm having a great time. Touché. Perhaps he just didn't want to go home yet. And I might be mistaken here, but I thought he doesn't like drinking. Wasn't it partying? Nevertheless, I think last night was quite different. It appears he had dinner with his team, and he needed the extra courage in order to negotiate with them about his proposed new direction. Oh, did you end up seeing Spider-Verse yesterday? Yes. Yes, I did. I saw the new Spider-Verse movie yesterday. No spoilers whatsoever. No spoilers whatsoever, and that includes you, chat. But I had such a great time. It is such a great movie, and I highly recommend it. Oh. Also, like, I know I'm not alone in here, but Miguel O'Hara, I am looking so respectfully. I'm looking with nothing but the greatest respect. Mr. Big Scary and Brooding. I'm looking with nothing but the greatest possible respect at Miguel O'Hara. Respect. It helps that he's also voiced by Oscar Isaac. So handsome. I'm getting flustered again, let's continue. I see. I suppose it didn't go as expected? Perhaps. And I know that feeling all too well. Miss. Oh, a hydrate check. I wonder what brought that on. I know, like, if Miguel O'Hara wasn't already, like, handsome and brooding, like, I'm not sure if that's, like, a semi-spoiler, but just his other characteristic just fan self furiously while I was sitting in my seat in the cinema, just, ha. However, he said he would keep negotiating until they reach a compromise. That's good. Is it though? Miss Rachel told me about the hoops she had to jump through at the beginning of her career with her teammates as well. Likewise, Mr. Lucas has to work hard to obtain approval from his team for his actions. How can they still be so positive? What do you mean? just cannot picture myself convincing others to give me a chance like that. I almost wanted to ask, why do we have to be at the mercy of others in order to succeed or fail? Can't talent speak for itself?
Okay, that's an interesting topic of conversation. So, like, Rachel, I'm assuming, is signed with, like, an agency or a music or a record label. Same thing with Lucas. He's, like, works with a team. He has a manager and stuff like that. So, that's a tricky fine line between things. It's like, if you want that extra boost of visibility and, like, getting in contact and, like, growing in the industry, then, you know, signing with, like, a label or having, like, a team is really, really good because you've got, like, you're then part of a network and stuff, but at the same time, they could pressure you into doing projects that you're not fully on board with, and, you know, they can, like, pressure you to, like, take steps in your career that feel, like, very, like, the opposite of what you want to do, whereas if you stay independent, you'll be working a lot harder and, like, a lot, like, slower to kind of, like, build up those, like, networks and connections and stuff. Like, as far as I'm aware, because, like, a friend of a friend, is Corp's husband. So I've never spoken to Corpse personally, but from my understanding, he's also, he's independent. I could be wrong. So all of his music is released by himself, or produced by himself, and other people that he's collaborated with, like Machine Gun Kelly and others. But he hasn't released music in, like, I think 2 years now? A year and a half or something like that? Whereas I have a feeling that if he signed with, like, a record label or something like that, then they would be hugely pressuring him to release more music, even though his health really stops him from doing that. So it's one of those really tricky things where I understand Riona's confliction about this, absolutely. Oh, and another Stephanie song, The Night by Aurelia Voltaire. Ah, yes. So good. I love Aurelia Voltaire. Oscar Isaac's daddy energy is so powerful it flowed into an animated character. You know what? I can see that. I can absolutely see that.
But I truly believe that. With the number of rejections I've received so far, I should have stopped a long time ago, shouldn't I?
Right, that's why it doesn't work that way. What do you mean? To let talent speak for itself, we would all have to have the same standards.
I see what you mean. Art would cease to be art if it was standardized, wouldn't it? However, doesn't that imply that everything still depends on the whims of the individual judging you at that moment? How does someone like Miss Rachel or Mr. Lucas manage to be fine with that?
Perhaps because they don't see it as a be-all and end-all?
What do you mean?
Rather than viewing them as judges with the authority to determine their fates. Perhaps they simply see them as hills to either overcome or avoid, if that makes sense.
Just a matter of perspective as to where the power lies. But it's not easy to climb those hills, especially if you've never done it before. Therefore, it's good to try and find out what works for you, or ask for guidance.
Sorry, that's my line. Therefore, it's good to try and find out what works for you and ask for guidance or assistance even.
Because one can't possibly know every single way to overcome obstacles, or be able to safely recognize warning signs without first learning about them from others. Is that what you're trying to say?
Stephanie can sing Evanescence so beautifully. I can actually, my voice is actually kind of similar to Amy Lee's in a lot of ways. I can kind of, that's how I kind of taught myself to sing, was singing to Evanescence in my car. So at karaoke, I usually pick an Evanescence song to perform.
I see. Still. Miss Fiona?
Yes.
Sorry, I got a bit lost in my thoughts. You're fine, I promise. But speaking of Mr. Lucas, what happened to him after the call?
I say again, Steph karaoke stream when music is tricky on YouTube, like not YouTube and Twitch. Like you can only do like non-licensed or like approved tracks, and I don't think karaoke tracks sound like count, unfortunately. And I don't want my channel to get taken down. I'm sorry, guys.
I picked him up and drove him home. Whoa. But I thought you were located in Bellevue? Bellevue. I am. But I still had unfinished business in the downtown area. Moreover, he suddenly began singing quite loudly nearing the end of our call.
I have an idea in mind for my Twitch goal for 2,000 followers, don't you worry.
Which led me to conclude that it would be best for me to go to fetch him.
I see. How was his singing, in your opinion?
It wasn't too bad. If not for the fact that he was screaming most of the lyrics, that is. Well, his hoodie was soaked when I arrived, so he had to take care of it before getting into my car. Thankfully, the water did not completely soak through his shirt, so he remained relatively dry. However, I still had to lay down the seat covers as his fur got rather wet.
Why is it I can just vividly imagine that, like, Riona's just, like, driving, and then in the back seat, just, like, Lucas, like, lying there, this poor satyr, like, soaked to the bone, and, like, all of his fur, like, a little bit matted and just sticking to him as he's just, like, singing loudly, like, a little drunk.
Hope he didn't get sick then. Aside from all that, was he okay? Considering the situation you mentioned earlier, I mean. Well, he happily asked me to do karaoke with him, which I declined.
Yeah, DJ Axeman, you should check the connection that you've got your Discord and your Twitch integrated, and then it should automatically pop up.
Probably for the best.
Could have been entertaining, though. But yeah, it should do, like, just check that you've got your Discord and your Twitch integrated, and then, like, because I don't, like, send out, like, and I don't ask, like, let my mods send out links to invite people to the Discord, just because it is for patrons and Twitch subs only. It's just more of a security thing than anything else.
I ended up taking him for a drive, though, as I needed to take care of my unfinished business.
A late night delivery?
No, I was buying a pie.
Priorities. I appreciate some, like, midnight, like, going to buy, like, pie at midnight, and just, it tastes so much better, though.
At midnight? Yes. Why concerned you may have a competitor?
No, not at all. Maybe a little bit. Oh, she's so pretty when she laughs.
Oh, Stephanie, you will be fine.
Thank you. I sort of want to know, just so I can inform Officer Jorji about it.
Oh, why?
His daughter loves pies. When his car was vandalized, Officer Jorji had plans to buy pies for his family's get-together. But the report took him a while and the weather was bad. And by the time he was able to get a taxi, he thought everything was already closed.
I see.
But he takes pride in being a Seattleite. So I wonder if he knows about it already.
Well, it is a very small kiosk attached to a pub. Very easy to miss. The spot is known as Disco Pie, and it serves fresh pies until 1 AM.
Interesting. Good to know. Thanks. Getting back to the story, though. You both went for pies, then?
Yes, and it seemed to fascinate him for some reason.
What did you each get?
He ordered a slice of warm apple crumble with a scoop of French vanilla ice cream on top. Okay, when I get pie, I always have to have like vanilla ice cream with it because just the balance of the sweet, creamy, like the coldness and then like the warm pie is so good. So good. Not the same if I get like a key lime pie, which is served cold. I'll just get that on its own with maybe some whipped cream on the side. But if I'm getting like a slice of warm pie, it has to have ice cream. Thank you for the stretch check. Oh, this is Seattle. That makes so much sense. Is it the rainy weather that's giving it away? And a large cup of piping hot coffee with a little bit of milk. Ouch. I feel betrayed, truly. Oh. It was my suggestion since I thought he needed to warm up. Double ouch! I apologize. I'll live. I love it that we're now comfortable enough as friends that we do have this like fun little banter between us. This is great. A little piece of advice though. A glass of warm water might be better for the inebriated. Coffee's not the best thing at retaining fluids and thus preventing hangovers. Oh, that's really good information to know. I'm writing that down myself for future reference. This is why you're the best barista, Stephanie. Thank you. Okay, my feelings are hurt slightly less now. And what did you get for yourself? I had a slice of hibiscus blueberry mint pie myself. Ooh, that sounds good. And just so you know, I did not order anything to drink. Good. Drinks aside, what an interesting combination for a pie. How did you like it? I enjoyed it. You serve hibiscus here too, don't you? I'll remember to order it next time. The way the weather in Los Angeles right now, I could have been fooled. It's been cold lately. The Pride event yesterday was chilly. Oh, that's so awesome that you went to a Pride event. I hope you had an amazing time with your community. Oh, that's so cool. And I wish the weather was warmer for you guys, but it's so wonderful that you got to celebrate Pride. Yay. Please do. And so we continue our conversation afterwards. And that was when he told me he had not given up on his goal, despite the many disappointments with his team. He also told me why he does not drive at all. Really? Why? Now I want to go to Republic of Pie. I really want pie right now. I want it so bad. I would do anything for like a nice slice of cherry pie with some vanilla ice cream. Ah, it is... On second thought, it may be better to hear the story directly from him another time. I apologize. No problem, I understand. We also discussed quite a few things. We also discussed quite a few things we have in common. Really? Yes, surprisingly. And before we knew it, it was already nearing 5 a.m. Must have been a gripping conversation. I'm not sure. However, his exhaustion seemed to finally catch up with him then, so I drove him home. Weren't you tired at all? No. I should go now. Alright, will you be okay? I have a lot to think about. Thank you for being patient with my concerns, Stephanie. No problem at all. Anytime. Have a good evening, then, Stephanie. Come back again soon. Alright, so it feels like we're coming to the end of... Yes, we've come to the end of the night. So I'm actually going to wrap things up here rather than do an extra day, because it feels like it's been a good length stream tonight, a bit over 2 hours. So let's just get the next day started and we'll jump back to the menu. Friday, September 29th, 2023.
Friday, September 29th, 2023. Ellie sightings increase. Is this an invasion? At least it's pretty. Researcher response over alleged algae invasion. Dwarfera Tech teams up with Golmix Industries to produce self-healing concrete technology. Self-healing concrete is fascinating, by the way. Alright, let's head back and save. And let's head back to the menu. Alrighty, so let us wrap things up tonight. Thank you all so very much for joining me tonight. This has been, I don't know, maybe just because I went on like some slightly different tangents rather than just focusing purely on the game. We had a bit of a like fun conversation going, but honestly, like, I'm really happy with how tonight went. Thank you all so much for joining me, for letting me voice my thoughts on some other things as well. And a big hello and welcome and like hi to all my amazing friends who decided to drop by. But thank you all so very much for joining me tonight here at the Blue Rose Respite. And I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. If you've been lurking in the shadows and you like what you've seen so far, please consider following. We would love to have you back at the Blue Rose Respite. You're welcome anytime. Be sure to check out my other socials that are in the chat, including my 2 YouTube channels for my ASMR tales and my Twitch VODs, and my other socials for my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok. But let's see who's currently live and we can send them some love. Let's see. You know what? Let us go say hi to the amazing, as always. Who should we say hi to? You know what, let's go say hi to Zora and the bear. Because they are amazing, very cool, and a very huggable bear indeed. But thank you all so much for joining me tonight, guys. A big thank you to everyone who renewed their subscriptions, and I think there was someone who gifted a subscription as well. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I will see you next Friday. For more of Cult of the Lamb Relics of the Old Faith, and I will see you next Sunday, of course, for more coffee talk. But thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, stay wicked and wonderful. Good night, my lovelies.